you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. We're going to be talking about teen mom star Catelynn Baltierra, her husband Tyler, and their biological daughter Carly. If you're keeping up with the situation, you guys know that Catelynn and Tyler, they have been speaking out a good bit over the past few months because their biological daughter Carly, her adoptive parents, her parents, have closed the adoption that has been open for the past 14 years. And I am going to refer to Brandon and Teresa as Carly's adoptive parents. It is not out of disrespect at all. I'm going to refer to Catelynn and Tyler as biological parents. I will refer to Carly as Brandon and Teresa's adopted daughter or Catelynn and Tyler's biological daughter, just so people's not confused. I did this on a TikTok and I have people commenting saying, that's not her adoptive parents. Those are her parents. And it's like, it's not shade. It's just using the correct language so nobody gets confused as to who is who, right? So this adoption has been open for 14 years with them doing their annual visits every other year, missing a year here and there. Communication has never been the best, what I think Catelynn and Tyler anticipated that it would be. I think it was good communication and they did talk a lot and they did stay connected for the first, definitely while Catelynn was pregnant, they did. And then maybe for the first year or two or three after Carly was born and Carly was handed over to Brandon and Teresa, they kept pretty good communication. But after 3-4 years, things started getting to where, according to Catelynn and Tyler, where Teresa would not always respond, to where it would take her a day or two to respond, or sometimes she wouldn't at all. And then, those annual visits become every other year. So I think from very early on, Catelynn and Tyler started realizing it was not going to be the way they anticipated it to be. However, last year when it was going to be time for her annual visit, when she would have been 14 or right before she turned 15, they were getting ready for the annual visit. Catelynn was reaching out to Teresa to check on it, to see about it, to see when can they plan it. And Teresa said, we're not going to do a visit this year. And because of that, Catelynn jumped on social media and voiced her opinions on adoption and how it's painful. Adoption is trauma. It's not, all just love and rainbows and everything's great. There's a lot to it, right? So she started sharing her feelings in more of a way to obviously show that she's not happy with things. And she also called Teresa out for not doing the annual visits. She even said something in one of the posts if you make time for the people that you love and you say you love us because we gave you the greatest gift that anyone can give you. You say you love us, but you can't even make time for us once a year, for one day. We could come to y'all, but you still are not making time for us. So this is confusing. I don't see how you can care about this. Well, that post really snowballed the situation. And it led to Brandon and Teresa completely cutting contact with Catelynn and Tyler, blocking them, telling them, do not send gifts to Carly, nothing. We want no communication, nothing to do with you guys. And that's led Catelynn and Tyler to speak up louder. That's led the public to kind of wonder what's going on here. You have some people that think this is Carly's decision. Some people that think that's not Carly's decision. And everybody's just kind of trying to figure out where they stand with this, Do they support Brandon and Teresa? Are they team Brandon and Teresa? Are they team Catelynn and Tyler? And what we know is it seems that everything has been shut down, completely shut down. However, on a recent episode, on an upcoming episode of Teen Mom: The Next Chapter, we're told that Carly's going to be sending Catelynn a gift, which is really confusing because Catelynn and Tyler have been completely cut off from Brandon and Teresa. On the last few episodes of Teen Mom: The Next Chapter, we see Catelynn and Tyler reach out to Dr. Drew to try to get advice from him. Dr. Drew asked, well, can I reach out to Brandon and Teresa and see if maybe I can find out what's going on from them? And he does. And we haven't seen what's going to become of that yet. On an upcoming episode of Teen Mom, we know Dr. Drew's going to sit down with Catelynn and Tyler and tell them, yes, I've talked to Brandon and Teresa. We know one thing that he's going to say is it seems like Carly is setting a boundary, or what were the words? Sending a message. It seems like Carly is sending a message. So when I saw what it said for an upcoming episode, I thought maybe that's what it's referring to. Dr. Drew said Carly is sending a message. And this explanation for an upcoming episode says Carly sends Catelynn a gift. And I'm like, well, that's not exactly the same thing, right? Sending a message and sending a gift is not the same thing. That is something different. And I did make a TikTok about this, and I'll tell you guys my thoughts. My thoughts were maybe Carly reaches out to Catelynn and says, hey, I will have an open line of communication with you, but it's going to be at my discretion. It will be with boundaries that I set up, and I will talk to you just as long as you do not talk publicly about my parents, Brandon and Teresa. So I made a TikTok and I said, that's what I thought it could potentially be. And Catelynn was like, nope, it's not that, but I get your way of thinking. I wish she would have just told me what it was, but obviously she can't spoil, what this is. We're going to watch just a clip of last week's episode, and then I'm going to show you guys where if you go to follow and you look up upcoming episodes, what it tells us, that Carly sends Catelynn a gift, but there are strings attached, that this gift comes with strings attached. So I was just kind of wondering, what could this be? I want to hear you guys' opinion. Let's watch what went down with Catelynn and Tyler with Dr. Drew on the most recent episode. If I can pull it up. Is this it?
Hi, Dr. Hello, Drew. Dr. How are you?
Good. Listen, we have traveled 15 years here, right? Mm-hmm. And Kate has...
Hi, Dr. Hello, Drew. Dr. How are you?
Good. Listen, we have traveled 15 years here, right? Mm-hmm. And...
Can you guys hear this? So this is on the most recent episode of Teen Mom, The Next Chapter, where they sit down with Dr. Drew to talk about the adoption being closed off. And I said this on a recent TikTok that I am sure they need more therapy from this. I am sure going from having a semi-open adoption to where you do get those annual, every other yearly visits to now knowing, okay, it's completely shut off. We don't know if we'll ever hear from her again. Yeah, maybe when she's 18, she could reach out to us, but she also could not reach out to us. And it might not even be that she don't want to. She may be experiencing the adoption fog. So she may want to reach out to us at 18, but may fear that she will upset her parents, Brandon and Teresa, her adopted parents. So I guess when you dig more into this and you know that just because a kid turns 18 and they're adopted, it does not mean they're going to reach out to their bio parents, even if they really want to. Even if deep down, that's what they want to do the most. They may not do it because they are worried that it will affect, their parents, their adopted parents. So now that's something that Catelynn and Tyler, oh my goodness, I cannot get the names correct, but that's something that Catelynn and Tyler are now going from, okay, we get to send gifts. We get to check on them. I mean, yeah, she don't always respond, but we do get annual visits every so often. Knowing that's no more, and it is we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know when we'll ever see her, talk to her again, because they've shut us off. So they reach out to Dr. Drew. I think was a good idea because, well, not that I think Dr. Drew, never mind. They need therapy over this because I think that is going to an extreme that is absolutely going to be difficult for them.
Kate has been very good about reaching out over all these years, but I understand things are not great right now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, our adoption is closed. It was open for 14, 15 years, and now it's not. And what are the emotions with that?
So, Kate, we're going to ask some hard questions, right?
Okay.
So you and Teresa have had some hard feelings lately.
Yes.
And you have expressed them online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to bring this up a little bit. So this was one of the posts that Catelynn made. Before communication was cut, I was told Carly was asking her parents, why can't we get together more? Why can't we get together with them for holidays? They could fly here to come see me. So in my heart, I don't feel like it's Carly wanting this. If B&T would tell me it is, in fact, Carly not wanting contact, then I would respect that with all of me. So that was one thing that Catelynn put up that obviously bothers Brandon and Teresa. And if her mom and dad called and said, it is what Carly wants, I would be silent. Y'all wouldn't hear a thing from me again about the situation. Because at the end of the day, she is what is most important. The only thing is, it may be Carly's decision, but Carly may not want them to know that it's her decision because she may not want to upset anyone. She may not want, it's kind of like, I don't think Amber and Leah's situation is similar. I think that's not fair to compare them to. But the only thing that I could probably compare, and it makes sense, I mean, I feel like it's a completely different situation, is like Leah not wanting to tell Amber things because she knows it's going to upset her mom or hurt her mom's feelings. It's like no child wants to tell their parent or even a loved one or a relative or a friend something that they know could hurt their feelings. So it's like, could it be Carly's decision? And she just don't want to say because she don't want to hurt their feelings. And her parents know this. Brandon and Teresa know. Like, so we will take, the bullet for that or take blame for that. We will shut down communication and we'll take the blame for that. So they don't know she wants this, right?
It's affecting Carly?
I don't know. I have asked. Of course, I'm Black, so I'm kind of just left in the dark. And I guess where I come at it now is like putting the facts out there and my feelings as a birth mom, because if she has a chance of seeing it and that it wasn't us cutting contact and that we don't want this, then I feel like she deserves to know the truth.
Well, I think that's what it comes down to, is that when we originally agreed and picked them as parents, we picked them for the sake of having an open adoption, so that way this stuff wouldn't be really an issue, where if Carly had any issues, she could come and contact us and she'd have access to us.
She could ask the questions or whatever.
And so I feel like,
and they verbally agreed to all of that too.
Ultimately, what I'm hearing for you guys, you want to know what Carly's feeling. I would love to see a day where I get everybody together again. It makes me sad that you're going through this. It makes me sad for Teresa and Brandon too. And it really, if Carly is getting any of it, it makes me very sad.
Right.
I'm just wondering if you would like me to reach out to Brandon and Teresa, or I would like to. Can I have permission to?
I mean, I think
of course they get permission. I'm going to stop here because the music. I didn't have time to remove the music out of here, but they get permission for him to reach out to Brandon and Teresa. And ultimately, what they say is they just want to make sure that they want to know if this is Carly's decision. If it's Carly's decision, they will respect that.
Moving forward, and we'll talk again soon. Okay. So, all right, guys. See you soon.
All right, bye.
We'll be interested to see if Dr. Drew gets anywhere.
Yeah.
I reached out to Dr. Drew this morning too to ask him if he's had any update for Brandon and Teresa or not.
You did?
Yeah.
You did?
I'm not having any high hopes.
It is just crazy to think about, like, in 2 months to the day, Carly's gonna be 16. I just wonder, like, is she driving? Is she doing driver's training? Is she,
Probably.
I hope she's probably just a normal, like, teenager, She's obsessed with, like, her friends and school and dances and
boys.
Yeah, all the stuff that she should be interested in. When back in the day when we were all 16, we were stressed out because real life was slapping us in the face.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I hope she has the freedom that she deserves.
I do think that's one of their concerns too is, and this could be all bio parents, is, did my biological child end up in a family where they don't get those freedoms to choose if they want to have a relationship with me? It's, the adoptive parents make that decision, which at the end of the day, I kind of feel like, and this is just my opinion, my husband's in the chat and he'll probably agree with this, and we don't always agree when it comes to this topic, but I do feel like parents have the right to choose who they want their kids to be around. Like if you have different opinions and this and that, and you feel like these people could be a bad influence on your children, then, and I'm not saying they are, I'm just saying that might be how Brandon and Teresa feel. Brandon and Teresa may feel like, hey, they're a bad influence. They have very different beliefs, political beliefs and things like that. So they may, think that, and I do believe that parents have that right to make decisions for who's going to be around their kids. Now, I think when it's an adoption situation, it was supposed to be an open adoption. Obviously, you really have to, it's like you're keeping that child away from her biological parents when it was agreed to stay open. So you obviously take her feelings into account before you make a decision. But I do think parents do hold the ability to make those decisions. I think it's a bit different when it's their bio. Same. I do think that's like when it's that child's biological parents, that's when you really got to think about how you're going to move forward with this. Get her opinion, talk to the kid.
To explore all those things that you do when you're 16, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and it just looks like 16 such a big year. And we're not going to be able to send her anything for her birthday. But I don't know, just certain things like that bug me, because it's like it's not doing any harm.
Sending gifts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It may not do any harm, but it may. Like I've been reading a lot on like adoptions and adoptees, and some's like, that's all I wanted was to know that my parents cared about me, and I would have loved for them to send gifts. And then other was like, no, I didn't want gifts from them. Like every time they sent me a gift, it reminded me that they gave me up, that they just threw me away, So it's so different on how people feel. And in the beginning, when you're making this agreement before the baby's born, when you're like, we can send gifts. Yeah, sure, you can send gifts. Gifts will be great. Well, then 15 years down the road, when the child is now 15 and she's like, I don't want gifts because this bothers me, this upsets me, then the parents got to step in to make a decision on what to do from there, But that was an agreement that they made. Yeah, gifts. So Dr. Drew messages.
He just texted me.
Catelynn.
He said, hey, Kate, do you and Tyler have time to talk this week?
So at this point, Tyler's like, oh, that must mean he spoke to them, because if he hadn't spoke to them, he would just be messaging to say, hey, not yet, hadn't heard from them, let you guys know when I do. But the fact that he's wanting to speak to us must mean that he's heard from them. And we do know that it seems that he had, because in a clip for next week's episode, it says, it seems that Carly's sending a message. I've talked to Brandon and Teresa, la-di-da-di-da. And this was filmed months ago, but now we're seeing, let's see, we'll jump right here. This is airing May 22nd, and it's called I'm Ready for the Next Chapter. And down here it says Carly sends Kate a gift. Not Tyler, just Kate. But it comes with strings. I'm like, what is that? What? So like I said, on my TikTok, I was like, maybe Carly is agreeing to open that line of communication back up, but only if Catelynn and Tyler will not talk about her parents. Maybe that's what she's doing. And Catelynn responded to that, and I'll show you guys what she said. Can you guys see that? It's not what you're thinking, but I see your idea of what it could be. So it's not that she's opening up a line of communication as long as Catelynn and Tyler stop talking about her parents. It's not that. But I'm like, what could it be? And I do feel like some people said this in the comments on my TikTok. Like they feel like it was probably something like legit with strings. And that's why MTV is playing off like, oh, sent a gift, but it's something with strings attached. Like, I'm like, I could see them doing that. I could see Carly really sending something, and it be, I don't know, maybe something for the girls. I don't know. Freaking kite or something. Or puppets. I don't know. And they're like playing off the fact that it has strings. I could see that, but I could also see it being something like, I will do this as long as you guys do that. Like her setting some sort of boundaries in place with them. I know. Yeah, and we don't know what she sent yet, but I mean, the show tells us that Carly sent something to Kate. Somebody said a violin. I saw that as well. So yeah, I've just been trying to rack my brain to figure out what this could be. If this is just a play on words, or it's not an actual gift, but a message like Dr. Drew said, or if it's an actual gift. Because if it is, if Carly sent Catelynn an actual gift, then to me, depending on what the gift is, it would make me feel like Carly does want some sort of relationship with them. If she's sending her bio mom a gift, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's like one of those gifts that it's like, quit talking to me. Listen, here's the baby book you sent me. Here's my bracelet. I'm done with you. Here's the blanket you sent me. Here's all the gifts. Return to sender. If it's something like that. But I don't think, but a couple of weeks ago, Catelynn and Tyler did say they were going to stop talking about Brandon and Teresa and Carly. They would still talk about their experience with adoption, but they would no longer be like name dropping Brandon, Teresa, and Carly. So I'm like, well, maybe that maybe they made that decision after they got the gift. Like maybe they got the gift and they were like, you know what? She's asking that we stop talking about them, so we're gonna stop talking about them. But Caitlin said that's not what it is. So I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Paula. McKay and Carly. Yes. Carly does sing at church, and I just think it's a shame that so many people shared that because it was like, I mean, yeah, she's singing at church. It's up on social media, but it's like, I'm a nobody. I mean, I have this channel, but I go to a church that's filmed. And if my daughter decided she wanted to start singing at church, I shouldn't have to be like, well, no, you can't start singing at church because if I have some hater on YouTube that hates me and wants to like stalk me, she can go find my daughter singing at church and can put it out publicly. You know, like, yeah, it's public, but I don't think they had any thought that people would get it and spread it everywhere. Maybe it's an invitation to come to her graduation. The string is not to invite Kate's mom or families. Maybe, well, she's 15. She'll be 16 this month, I think it is. I think her birthday is May. So maybe it's like a ring ceremony. I don't know. I'm guessing it's a violin, maybe one of hers, and maybe a video of her playing. One thing that makes sense to me is MTV to kind of use the play on words. Right. I just see a lot of people say that. There is a new photo of Carly being shared. It is. It is. And it's like a prom photo or something of her with her boyfriend. They say it's her boyfriend going to prom. Yeah, I agree. Nothing should be shared unless she and her parents agree on this. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there, wanting y'all's opinion. What could this be? Caitlin said it's not. I'll have a relationship with you guys if y'all stop talking publicly about my parents. It's not that. But something was sent apparently, and this comes after the adoption was closed. Carly is sending a gift. So what do you guys think that it could be? Do y'all think this means Carly wants a relationship with them or no? If you listen to their podcast, they're full-grown adults. They've been through intense therapy. They've spoken to hundreds of adoptees. Yeah. Well, Caitlin and Tyler don't talk specifically about Brandon, Teresa, and Carly anymore. Now, when they made that decision to stop talking about them, they had to come out to say, hey, we pre-recorded some stuff that will drop that they're going to be discussed, but nothing from this moment that we record, that we post will include them. You guys will hear us talk about them on upcoming podcasts, but that is because it was recorded previously, you know. So moving forward, if we do hear them talk about them, it's because it was recorded previously already. So, do you guys think that Carly wants a relationship with them? Carly will be 16 tomorrow, right? I think. Well, I know her birthday's in May. That episode's going to air on the 22nd. The 22nd, May 22nd. When is the birthday? I keep messing that up. May 18th. She was born May 18th. Maybe it's as simple as her own private phone number so they can contact each other directly with boundaries. Maybe so. Who's acting like they know what she wants? I don't think I've ever done that. And even when I was told by like people that say they know her, I was like, this is what I was told, which makes me lean this way if the information I'm getting is correctly. But I've never pretended to know what I've actually said multiple times, I don't know what she wants. I'm not an adoptee, and it's very hard for me to even think of how I would feel in that position. So I don't know anybody. So we don't know if she does or doesn't want a relationship with him. So stop acting like you know what she wants. I'm very curious who you're talking to, Melissa, because I don't think anybody is saying they know exactly what she wants. Everybody's just trying to come up with their own idea and opinions, which is what we're entitled to do. But I don't think anybody has said, oh, this is what she wants, and we know that. It's a gift, thanking her for giving her life, and that her adoptive parents are her parents. It could, yeah, could be something like that. I asked you guys to tell me what y'all think the gift is. Do y'all think Carly wants to? But I'm not telling y'all to know what she wants. I know nobody knows. But I do want to hear y'all's opinions. Do y'all think that this is something that Carly wants? That Carly wanted to shut it down? And I'm not asking, do you know for sure? I know y'all don't know for sure. Just opinions. Something about this isn't adding up. Dr. Drew reaches out. Suddenly, Carly sends a gift. And if so, Dr. Drew saves the day staged, if you ask me. Yeah, maybe. I wonder if it's the baby bracelet that Teresa bought the three of them. I hope not. But I would have to imagine it gives them some sort of hope, right? So do they say what the gift is in the episode? No. Well, yeah, in the episode, we'll probably see it. But the episode hasn't aired yet. This is the description of the episode that tells us Carly sends Catelynn a gift. But we don't know what it is yet. May 19th. Happy early birthday, shenanigans. Wouldn't B&T have to approve the... Yeah, I'm sure B&T would have to approve. I still think it's balloons for Mother's Day. Maybe it's balloons for Mother's Day. Maybe. Who knows? You know? Anyways, you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. I thought that was very interesting concerning everything that's been going on for the past 6 to 8 months. How horrible this has gotten for it to just be shut down completely, for them to block Catelynn and Tyler, for Catelynn and Tyler to go to Dawn, go to Dr. Drew, trying to get some sort of answers, and for Carly then to send a gift. We don't know what it is. I'm so curious. Sandy says, I have no idea what the gift is. I don't know if she wants a relationship with him or not. If she doesn't, I'm hoping it's her own feelings, not coming from her parents. Saying that's the way that I feel. Yes, they have stated that, Carly, that just like they have custody of his niece, with his sister getting arrested, going to jail, and the niece coming to live with them. Like, they have recorded that kind of stuff, and like they don't show that. So, Kaden says, oh, I like the way you spell your name, Kaden. I'm an adoptee, and I adore Catelynn and Tyler. However, I've been unsettled if my bio parents were so visible in the public eye, even though it's coming from a place of love. I'd be unsettled. That's understandable. I mean, yeah, I get that. Especially, too, with, like, you are raised one way and your parents, like the whole OnlyFans stuff and stuff like that, Jay says, I think she wants a relationship with them, but it's probably hard because her parents have expressed being insecure about it. Plus, she is a teen and she has her own life now. I think it's something asking for them to back off would explain why they agreed to stop talking about them. Could be. That was kind of my my theory as well. Hey, we can talk, but stop talking publicly about us. But you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on this page here. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Follow me on my other social media platforms and leave me your thoughts. And after it airs, we'll be back to talk about it, to talk about what it was and to go from there. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.